Should the government provide free education? Why? The education of the child, or the ignorance of the man. For one or the other I am obliged to pay. And I definitely prefer the former. Op must have been homeschooled. Absolutely same for higher education, too. Even if you are the most flag-waving patriot ever, most of the rest of the developed world offers it. If we don't keep up, we will be lapped. I believe something like 51% of United States adults can only read at a 6th grade level. Ever been to a place with no public education? Forget literacy rates and lack of math skills. Zero public education means zombie kids from poor families on the street at 8 or 9, huffing gasoline to feel warm. It's so sad. Yeah, the government should provide free education. Once upon a time we believed that government was a vehicle for us to accomplish things for our society. No program has worked better than public education in that regard. None. Opposing education is not edgy or cool. It's stupid. Opposing education is not edgy or cool. It's stupid. Not just stupid. So irresponsible and dangerous that it's difficult to really even describe. There are few things that could more quickly erode society. To be uneducated is to be at the total mercy of those with power. For large swaths of the population to end up uneducated allows for those with power to easily control information, and by extension, the population. The end result of that would make today's society look like a damn utopia. Another way to put it is that education is the gateway to everything we have the opportunity to take for granted in this world. Plumbing, heated homes, phones, internet, transportation, and just about anything else that makes life livable are built on the foundation that is education. Hell, knowing your rights is a privilege of the educated. Even things as seemingly trivial as being able to read a sign or conceptually understand how far 100 miles is compared to 200 miles is, again, because you are educated. To complement what you said, free public education is the single best leverage against social determinism. It's not a magic wand, it does not perform magic tricks or miracles, but I can't find any better. No better way to compete on the social ladder. If you want the most free competition and aim for meritocracy, that's your weapon of choice. Public education is an investment that has real, measurable returns that make it profitable to do. Educated people are healthier, wealthier, less likely to commit crimes, more likely to pay taxes, own homes, etc. It is not free. Educated people pay it all back in taxes. Zombie kids from poor families on the street at 8 or 9. Then we just reform child labor laws and get those lazy kids off the streets and into the factories for 12 hours a day, 7 days a week like the good old days/s. Opposing education is not edgy or cool. It's stupid. Ironically, it's a good case for more investment in education. The compassionate argument is weak against those who are against education to begin with. Public education, and a satisfied working class, means a safe and stable society that is less threatening to the upper class. Even those who don't care for government spending, education is a straight-up investment in the future. Educated kids become productive members of society. Uneducated become drains on society. I think this is articulated very well, but the underlying point for why the government should pay for it, is that providing free education benefits society as a whole. Whenever I discuss tax relief for families with co-workers, I always try to emphasize this point with the following example. If the government gives me, upper middle class, $4,000, I might spend a small amount of that, but generally, my vacation and car funds are already allocated. That money goes into my retirement. If the government instead gives the same $4,000 to someone who is in the lower middle class or lower class, they are almost forced to spend it, and usually on essentials, and if they don't have to, oftentimes that's the difference between them going on vacation or not, or fixing their car or replacing an appliance. Giving tax breaks to wealthy people might go back into the economy, but it might not. Giving tax breaks to poor people almost always goes right back into the economy, immediately. Things that benefit almost everyone, especially those in need, should be paid by everyone via tax. Full stop. I like it, and will probably steal it, winky face. Do you have a source for it, please? 100%. Yes. This is why I've always been in favor of my taxes funding schools, even though I had no kids and never intended to. I want to live in a literate society. Phrased another way, should education only be available for folk who can afford it? Then the issue of generational poverty becomes a bigger issue. I'm fostering a kid right now who is absolutely brilliant and wouldn't have been able to escape the cycle of his great-grandparents, grandparents, and parents all in jail for meth, and none of them finished high school. Even better. Should society chip in to pay for everyone's education? Government and free pretty much stop the conversation immediately in the US. Taking America for example, people spend a shitload of money to be in specific school districts because the same public education provided in a lesser community is not as good of a school. So while we have free education, it's not actually free and largely divided. I ask myself the question you ask all the time.